loading snacks.
What's good, Loaded Snacks Universe? Your boy Jokes is here. I got the homie Marcus in tow with me, and it's time for another episode of the Finisher Podcast.
Finisher.
Sir, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing good, man. We're doing great.
Like the sound of it? I'm a little tired. As usual, that's kind of just the norm.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to do more work. Like the grind never stops.
Indeed.
But we're here to talk about some wrestling as usual. Wrestling never stops, so we can't stop either. We got to keep coming. But for those that are you guys that are watching, for those that you are listening, much appreciated. However, you're consuming the content. Just make sure.
Appreciate you.
However, just jump over to.
We love you, supporters. We love you.
Jump over to beacons.ai/loading snacks. So that way, not only will you be able to consume the Finish podcast, but you'll also be able to see and hear all of the other things that Loading Snacks has to offer, whether it may be anime related, obviously wrestling related, or just the normal shenanigans that we get into with like weekly and conventions and things that we have coming on. But I think it's time we just go ahead and we just start talking wrestling, because I know that's what the people are here and listening want to talk about right now. Ready to jump into this, Marcus?
Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna kick things off. We gotta start with the fact that we finally have additional women's championships in the WWE now.
I mean, we've been talking about that for like how long now? Like we've been waiting for this transition to happen. Like I don't know. It feels like ages.
Have been talking about this for ages now, even predating this variation of the Finisher podcast. It's just been something that's been missing because WWE has some amazing female superstars.
Oh yes, most definitely.
It's just sometimes people get lost in the shuffle. If you're not part of that main bunch that's going for the women's championship on each show, you kind of can get lost in there. But now we finally have a way to cement some other, like as Triple H said, some workhorses within the company. Now, the two belts in question, we now have the Women's United States Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, I think that was just super easy, super clean to create, keep things unified on each show.
Copy paste, just
nothing
format.
Super different. And just like the men's variations of the belt, they will each live on their respective shows. So the Intercontinental will live on Raw, United States Championship will live on SmackDown.
Until a superstar shakeup.
Whatever we may do trades. Honestly, I don't think we'll probably see them move for a good little while now. I feel like they're going to live where they are, because we're not that far out. Obviously, WrestleMania is a few months down the road. We're not that far out. I don't think we'll see that necessary shakeup as of just yet. But Marcus, before we get too far, I got to ask you, how do you feel about finally getting these championships introduced in the WWE?
Oh, I'm happy about it. I'm extremely happy. The women's division needs these titles, these belts, these championships. Like it's now going to open up more time for different stories, different arcs. It would allow some talent to more so fine-tune their promo and mic work. It's going to open up a lot more doors than people are going to get a credit for right now, but I definitely think it's a giant step in the right direction for WWE. Of course, all the other companies, they have their own variation of their mid-card women's belts and everything like that. But I'm really proud to see WWE now taking that step that the other companies have already done. It's kind of like they're playing catch-up, but WWE as a production is always going to make it extravagant because it's entertainment. So we're definitely going to see some prime stories going forward, especially whoever becomes the inaugural champions for respective titles.
And honestly, I think we already have some picks on who
hashtag Chelsea Green needs to be champion. I'm tired of put the belt on her. Like I love Mia Yim and all of them, but put one of them on Chelsea. One of them. I don't care.
Listen, we've been talking, like, obviously Chelsea Green is one of those that I feel like they dropped the ball on a couple of opportunities where she would have been able to run with some story and been able to go. Listen, Queen of the Ring. I thought she would have been that. She was to me grade A perfection for the Queen of the Ring and being
Oh
able
yes.
to sell that. I feel like we would still be selling that currently right now if she was the Queen of the Ring.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
but
Even
let's
Money in the Bank, like she won Money in the Bank, like
even
Miss
Money in the
Money
Bank.
in the Bank. Oh yes, man, the stories that could have been told, missed opportunities.
Even that. Now, listen, the past is the past. Like we know obviously WWE has shifted to this different regime, this different vision that we're seeing with the product, and I'm absolutely loving it. Um, like clearly, I'm gonna be real. This is something that we honestly would not have gotten have things not have shifted. I'm gonna be real. Maybe somehow a
No,
push here and there, but
I feel like all this was already in the works. It's
mhm,
just the trigger wasn't fully pulled. It was halfway pulled, but they were just like, okay, we just want to make sure all of this stuff is going how it's supposed to go, and then everything happened. But I definitely think like this was on the docket to happen because as much as that person was in charge of the company, like the board still has to push these. You still have to work with the networks that you're partnered with.
mhm,
Like these are things, and when that merger with the UFC and
mhm,
TKO happened, like it was inevitable. Like you can't have be partnered with the UFC and they have multiple women's divisions and multiple women titles, and then you still have your standard two titles.
mhm.
So I definitely feel like it was like, yo, like your women are doing their thing. They've shown that they're consistent, they're constantly improving. All right, go ahead and pull the trigger. We're now
Mm.
comfortable. We're in a comfortable space. Our shares are good. We can take this risk.
I won't even like. First things first. This is not a risk. This
Oh,
is
you know, it's a
definitely
guarantee,
yeah,
but
yeah.
from a loss in profit, it is a risk because if the first things don't really catch on as much as we want it to happen, if the story doesn't reflect all this time you're putting in, then it's not going to do well.
I get you.
So
But this, I'll be honest with you. Well, who they've been having over, I would say, the last few years, risk would not have been a factor involved with this because the superstars between who we let's say over just let's use the last 2 years, the stars that we already had in the light and the ones that were up and coming from NXT to come over, everything this was a surefire thing. Um, especially with some of the talent that we've seen and the things that they can do, but unfortunately, not able to necessarily be in the Rhea Ripley bracket type of space as of yet. This is a good way to get them into that space. Now, the way that this is going to work. Now, I'm gonna throw these up on screen for those that can see, but I'm gonna talk through it for those that are actually listening right now. Um, the way that they actually formulated the way we're gonna get to pick our champions are through championship tournament. Um, there's going to be four triple threat matches that start out the prelims of it, which then comes down to another three versus three, and then we'll finally get to the finals to get our 1v1 for the championship. It's going to work the same way for both the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. Um, I know we already kind of have our ideas and our picks of who we want to see both ways. Like Marcus, with like the United States Championship up here. Now, obviously, let's first things first. For those that can see this, there have been some changes to this bracket for
indeed,
obvious reasons and storyline purposes. We'll just say I'm saying quotes in that. Like Jade Cargill was actually supposed to be a part of this. Unfortunately, she got taken out before she even made it to her match. Ended up having to get subbed out in there. So we know Meechin ended up winning that match anyway. Um, but we already know where we have our finalists set for the United States Championship between Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. Um, already, that is a solid match for the United States Championship. Now, Tiffany Time still has her Money in the Bank briefcase, um, which I think is going to be very interesting going into this because obviously it kind of gives her two
I mean,
opportunities.
she could just cash it in at the Saturday night main event. They could
um,
just pull that trigger.
so either she could win because the final for the United States Championship is a Saturday night main event. So this is being determined this weekend. So by the time you guys probably hear this, you probably either be watching or getting ready to watch Saturday night main event. Um, but Tiffany definitely has an advantage here because obviously if Chelsea Green wins, Tiffany could easily just cash right in and actually get the championship from it. And then we'll have two champions with literally in the same night, which would be an interesting theory. Um, Personally, I think we're in the same place. I want Chelsea Green to win this. Like,
Yeah, for the United States, it definitely has to be Chelsea Green. Like, not knocking anyone else, but it just has to be Chelsea Green.
I gotta have Chelsea Green with gold. Like her with the championship is absolutely going to be incredible. Um, Now I wonder if she's gonna get fair warning to not let um oh damn, I'm having a brain fart.
Piper
Uh
Niven? No.
no, once she gets that belt home, having Matt Cardona
Oh
end
no,
up grabbing that belt.
he gonna grab it, bro. He gonna grab it. He gonna take the pictures. I am one half of the United. Well, actually, he will just say I'm whatever time United States champion now because it's still a United States championship, whether it's a men's or women. It still counts as a United States
Which
championship.
will be pretty funny. But I'm just eager, like I believe Chelsea and Tiffany have both proven that they are worthy enough to hold the championship and being able to run with it. Um, like it's even though I really want Chelsea to win, like it's I wouldn't be mad either way with whichever one of them wins it. But I feel like with Tiffany having the briefcase at this point, I feel like she should be going for the two
I
main
definitely
women's
feel like they're
championships.
teeing up for her turning on Nia and cashing in on Nia
Hmm.
versus a Liv because I feel like they're still pushing that Rhea Liv angle. So I don't really
Hmm.
think she'll cash in on Liv,
Hmm.
even though with for those of you who missed Raw, there was a promo where she was like, "Oh, I could if I win the Euro Championship, can I take your dog with me and all this other type stuff?" Like trying to make it seem like, but probably they're teeing up for her pulling it on Nia Jax.
I agree, and in doing so, I feel like Tiffany, like I wouldn't say she's a heel. I will say she's kind of in between right now. She can play both sides of it, but I feel like her turning on Nia, she'll move more towards being a face once again. Um, and I wouldn't be upset with that. Uh, she doesn't need to go after Liv. I just feel like that would just be weird right now with everything that's going on for her to interrupt what's going on still
I
with
mean,
Liv.
I don't think she'll cash in on Liv for the sole purpose. Actually, no, that would actually make sense because he is on Raw, so that would be one way where they can stay on the same show.
To do valid, but I'm for the United States Champion. Chelsea Green is my pick. That's Chelsea or bust. Like I need Chelsea Green to win that
In Chelsea, we
championship.
trust.
I'm good with it. Not saying, hey, listen, Tiffany just need to take her briefcase and get one of the main women's championships. That's where I'm at on that. Um, Intercontinental, we're a little bit further out on having our finalists. More than certain, we will not get that final match until the debut of Raw on Netflix. I think that is just absolutely with the way we line up
Yeah.
time frames. I feel like it lines up perfectly, and I feel like for kicking off your
Who's in
new
those? So have they started these brackets?
yes, because uh, Lyra Valkyria is beat Zelina and Ivy Nile. I remember that. I do believe
What was it, Kari Zane?
was it Kari or Natalia? I feel like it was Natalia, or maybe we haven't gotten that one yet. I gotta pull that bracket up because I haven't been keeping up with I haven't watched Raw this past week, and I know they had at least one of the matches on there for it. Now, this is going to sound crazy because once again on Intercontinental, there's some solid talent on there. The person that I would actually probably wouldn't mind seeing with the Intercontinental Champion, but I feel like may not be able to necessarily elevate it where it needs to be is Natalia. Like, I feel like for what she's put in and what she's done, and I think with the lineage that her family has had with the Intercontinental Championship, I think it would be super cool to actually see her be able to pull that victory off.
Hmm.
I know it's
Did Shayna win her triple threat?
I don't remember. Let me. That's what I was trying
Because
to see.
that's what I was trying to remember if she won her triple threat. Because I would really want gold on Shayna
Hmm.
just so that she can get that brand refresh that she deserves. It's like they had this momentum with Shayna and then it just stopped, just out of nowhere.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see if I can pull the updated brackets because WWE that they don't have. I wish they would just have like an update, a page dedicated to the two of them that just has the brackets and just keeping track on there for it. Um, but I'm not. Like, this is the same thing. The brackets are solid, and almost from each category, there's at least one or two people that I would really be happy to see win it. Like in that bracket, Natalia, I'm good with. Lyra Valkyria, I'm perfectly fine with. Like you said, Shayna
I'm good
Baszler.
with Dakota Kai winning if that's the case. I think it was Dakota Kai.
You know what? It was Dakota Kai. You're
I think it
100%
was
correct.
I think it's Dakota Kai. And then I want to put my money on Dakota
It was definitely Dakota Kai. Um, and
if
then
I
I
was a
think in the
betting
other one,
person.
I think it was Raquel that won that. I don't think I know Kaden didn't win, and I'm pretty sure Zoe Stark lost that match. Yeah, I'm almost certain Raquel won that one. Um, but I'm not going to be upset with honestly any of them that are in there now. If Raquel were to win this whole entire thing, to have her and Liv be able to have the belts together within Judgment Day now brings more gold back to them, which would be an interesting concept to see if we go with it. I don't know if I necessarily want that play right now. The only one I would be happy with obviously is Finn. Like, and I don't want to get too sidetracked. It's getting Finn to have the belt, so we have one, at least one of each within the faction. But
Man, I just need Finn to just have gold. Not tag team gold, but singles gold.
singles
Like,
gold.
all right, it's been a while and I feel like he needs it right now. Like, all right, he retired the demon gimmick. Like, we're
Hmm.
never gonna get that again.
Don't
And
say never. I feel like
nah, he said it's buried. He said it's done.
listen. There's a lot of things that wrestling like, they say that it was going to happen and we have it. I feel like the demon persona will manifest at least one more time. It's got to be meaningful. It has to be meaningful, but I do think that we could get one last run with the demon gimmick. Like I hated the way it had to end up going out, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I am super happy that we're finally getting these championships. Um, long overdue, and as the evolution continues for WWE, this is just another step in the right direction. Um, and it just gives more the opportunity for the women to be able to showcase more of what they have, especially when we're bringing up even more talent from NXT. You got to be able to put them in playing field for something. Uh, I still feel like we've gotten a little bit better with the women's tag team championships. I feel like we went a little bit better, but I feel like it's stagnant right now. Like I think that Bianca and Jade are doing perfectly fine as the tag champions, but I want to see more. Like I want to see more actual women's tag teams. Like and not some of like we've talked before, like the cookie cutter just put them together and now they're a tag team. Um,
Like we need like a female Dudleys or like female Hardys, like we or Motor City Machine Guns. Like we need actual solid women tag teams that
mhm,
mesh. And
mhm.
I feel like once we get more of those, then like that division will be in an infinitely better position.
Hmm.
But right now, it's kind of on the back burner.
Yeah, it's doing better than what
I
happened
still
in the
say
past.
this brings up my point number one that there needs to be like a woman's time slot
Hmm.
or on a day. I don't care if it's an hour, 2 hours. That women's division needs more time, and because you can't do it on Raw. Raw's going back to 2 hours. It's 2 hours now.
No,
It's
well,
never.
now no, we get three when it goes to Netflix. So there's definitely some expansion, and I've been hearing that apparently when we get to the New Year's, well, to SmackDown at some point is also going to move to 3 hours. I've been
But
hearing that.
SmackDown's already 3 hours.
No, it's only two, 8 to 10.
You sure?
Did they expand out SmackDown? I didn't think they did. I don't
I
think they
could
did.
I could have sworn SmackDown is 3 hours on USA right now.
I could be tripping. Now, you know what? Now you got me going to look at DVR stuff right now.
Because I
Library.
swear Raw right now is 2 hours. And SmackDown is now 3 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm more than certain. Even yeah, I'm certain SmackDown is still 2 hours, but I know, yeah, 2 hours and 1 minute. Yeah, it's still 2 hours. Um, but the talk is that it's going to transition to 3 hours come the new year because I feel like USA does not want to lose like that. I
That
know
three
it's
hour
for this
time
time
slot.
that 3 hour time slot. Um,
Yeah, they gotta tee up Suits LA.
and hey, listen, Susan, I'm gonna be watching that. I gotta watch the original Suit series. We about to super
You're
sidebar, but
slacking. You're
I need my
slacking.
man Stephen Amell.
How
I gotta.
you're slacking. How can you not get down with the greenback boogie, man?
I gotta go back and watch. But yeah, if they get that 3 hour time slot, like it's definitely going to give some more room to work and to grow, especially having the additional women's tag or women's championship on the show. And we know what this other shakeup, like, and then I'll get ready to wrap my part up. We know this other shakeup is coming where we're going to see stars move between the shows. Um, it's not the draft, but it's literally like I feel like we're gonna see the A-list hitters shifting over to Raw. Like I hate to say this, but it's probably gonna happen. Gunther and Cody are gonna switch shows. They're gonna keep their belts. Now they're not gonna switch belts. They will keep Cody will stay WWE champion. Gunther will still be the world heavyweight champion. But they're gonna end up switching shows. We're gonna get Cody back on Raw, obviously coming to Netflix. Um, Rhea's not going anywhere. She's gonna stay there. She's probably gonna end up getting her belt back soon. Um, the bloodline part I will actually let me refrain. Part of the OTC is probably going to end up getting shifted back to Raw. At least
I don't know. I feel
Roman.
like I think Roman's staying SmackDown. I think Roman is staying SmackDown just for that. It's the Rock show,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I get it.
it's like it kind of all is going to tie into that story. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Roman's probably going to end up staying on SmackDown, and then somehow through Bloodline shenanigans down the road, we'll
Mm-hmm.
get Cody Roman 3,
On there for it. That's definitely going to happen at some point.
but
But
not before we get Roman Rock 1.
on there for it because like I'll be honest with you, uh, I really want to see Roman and Gunther. Like that match hasn't happened. I'm pretty sure we haven't had Roman and Gunther just as even as a regular match.
Yeah,
Um, I'm eager to see how we can tie that story or what we can do with that. I think will be pretty interesting. Uh, Gunther will go over there and talk his shit, and I think that in itself and having Roman trying to rebuild, like I'm happy. You know what? They got the win at War Games, which is going to give them a little bit more of a
the
push.
reason why I think they're keeping them separated is because of like it's what he said to Seth. It was like that's that that's the loser's belt. Like that's the loser's bracket belt. Like
Eesh. But when you don't have the choice and you want a championship, he's gonna end up saying, you know what, I'm gonna make it.
No, he's gonna say I'm Roman Reigns, and I don't care. This is my title shot because they've done gone away with rematch clauses, but with Paul Heyman, I have my rematch
Oh,
clause.
Paul Heyman didn't even rematch. He's just gonna be like, give him the match and then change the stipulation. But yeah, I'm good with my topic before we get too far off on there. But um, the women's titles are going to be an excellent addition to the show, and I'm eager to see. I'm eager to see what the storylines that we can put together with this because we haven't had any. Like, don't get me wrong, the stories that we've had have been cool, but we don't haven't had like, you know, Roman Cody level heat like within the women's side. Like, obviously, when Rhea became champion and she was doing her thing and no one could beat her, that was probably the closest thing that we probably got to something like that right now. Um, Liv ain't necessarily
Yeah.
that. So it's cool, but she ain't that yet. So we'll see how things go. Once we get into the new year and get our new champions established, all we can do is get off to the races from there. What you got on the table for this week?
What I have on the table, haha, metaphorically speaking, uh, is it's a new day, you know, and my topic is: do you think? Well, not do you think? Is it right that this generational team is now doing a heel-esque turn, but without the negative turning all the way, beating up their third partner?
So I think it's fine for where it is right now. Um, Biggie is still not medically clear. Now, granted, that I forget who that was that came back that was gone for a minute. It may have been Brian. Daniel Bryan at the time. It's hard to even do that.
Brian Danielson.
And then when he got cleared, and we were kind of like, I don't know, and he started literally getting physical like that first night back. I was like, oh, okay, we got him back. Um, that's going to be the time we know that Biggie gets cleared. My hope, like, listen, we know that any neck injury is super sus.
Well, I'm more so speaking from as a unit, as a group, a
Hmm.
trio. I wouldn't call them a faction, so I would say a stable.
Hmm.
That there is really no controversy within that group. It's not like an evolution where they're turning on Randy or Batista's no longer being like the henchman.
Hmm.
It's not even NWO where they're kicking members
Hmm.
out and bringing other members in. It's none of these type of groups or teams or factions where there's like, oh well, we're just kicking you out because you're underperforming or you're
Hmm.
losing matches. It's not like that in that sense. Like
Hmm.
there's no drama. There's no like, you know, as being melanated
Hmm.
people, that we are portrayed in a certain light to social spaces and in media. There's none of that with this group
Hmm.
outside of that one slip up that one member did, but that wasn't his fault.
um, I do think they needed it. Um, One, being able to still incorporate Big E, I think is a big plus. Uh, Medically cleared or not, Xavier and Kofi have been doing. They've been doing okay, but it's just the New Day's gimmick has been successful over this decade. And let's be real here. There's a lot of teams, there's a lot of factions that don't make it past a couple of years, a year sometimes at that. But for them to be relevant and stay relevant, two out of three have become world champions.
Yep.
I would like to somehow see Xavier be able to complete the trifecta. Right now, with who we have, it ain't happening on SmackDown because he's not beating Cody right now. Him being Gunther right now is not in the foreseeable future either.
Well, he just needs to win. Like
He,
even Kofi has been Intercontinental Champion. He's
mhm.
been wait, I don't think he's been a con. I think he's just been United States Champion.
Yeah, I think just you. Actually, you know what? Look that one up. He may have been actually. I think in the early days he was Intercontinental Champion. I'm more than certain in the early days he was Intercontinental Champion. Right before, I feel like right before he got that big push where he was going after Randy, I do believe he was Intercontinental Champion at least once.
Okay, yeah, he's
Yeah.
been so yeah he's a
Hmm.
triple crown champion. Um, but even Big E has won the mid card titles
Hmm.
before they push him to the big. I feel like that's what Xavier needs. He or yeah, Xavier. I was about to say Austin Creed for a second. Uh, Xavier needs to win that mid card belt, and he's been close. He's won King of the Ring,
Hmm.
but it hasn't fully panned out. Now, with Braun Breaker being the Intercontinental Champion,
Hmm.
it's and what he's doing, there is a possibility with this heel turn
Hmm.
we can finally get to see his first win.
Hmm.
And I feel like that is what the group needs is for him to be like, yes, I finally won singles gold. Because Kofi doesn't need it. Kofi, as he stated, he's a legend in his own right. Multiple wow moments from the Royal Rumble. Uh, his resume speaks for himself. WWE champion, Intercontinental, United States 3 times, Raw tag team, SmackDown tag team, the old bronze tag team, or how many
Hmm.
titles you want to put on him, he's got it in one
Hmm.
way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
And he doesn't need to do anything. That man can retire today and be set for the rest of his life. So for the group and for the storytelling, Xavier needs that mid card title.
100%. And I do believe with like this heel turn, the New Day needed to do something different. Like when New Day was originally formed, they were a heel faction, and
I
I
mean, they
don't
weren't
know,
over as heels,
they
but
weren't over it, but the direction that they were supposed to go was to be initially was to be heels. But that version of them didn't pan out, which gives us the variation that we have of them now.
well, actually, they weren't supposed to be heels. They were still supposed to be promoting this positivity. It's just what was written bad for how they did it, and so before they were going to just scrap it, they was like, okay, we're just going to have fun with it, which is what originally was pitched to Paul when they first said, hey, we're going to do this, and then I guess the regime at the time was just like, no, we will. I want you to do it this way, and it didn't really work until they
Mm-hmm.
did what they did. So I guess now that with this new regime, they can actually okay, we're going to reset, hit that reset button, similar to a John Cena,
Mm-hmm.
when he was going to face The Rock and he was going to turn heel, and they were just like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they need a fresh lift because when we were starting to get the infighting with Xavier and Kofi. Like we clearly were seeing there's been shade like we've been seeing the odds of we weren't quite sure at first who was gonna do it. Like initially it was clearly looking like it was gonna be Xavier Woods. The way that they were doing everything, him having the issues, uh the tagging in and out of matches at bad timing, like it all was pointing to him being the one to switch. Um Now, for those that are now, we're gonna dig into our anime back here.
The Majin symbol.
Listen, Kofi and Xavier have been like teasing this like Goku Vegeta, Goku Black, like having like the villain and the hero, and then like they had this whole thing going for a
I
while.
feel like that was a swerve. I always felt that it was always going to be Zamasu and Goku Black.
Hmm.
Like I feel like it's just a giant like okay, one came out as Zamasu as Goku Black, the one was Goku, but I feel like that was a swerve to make you
Yeah.
feel as though Kofi was going to be that, but he was actually
Hmm.
Zamasu.
Yeah, like I was digging. Like, listen, the
Hey, Majin
Majin
Kofi going
symbol,
to hit though. Majin Kofi going to hit.
and I was like, okay, they're foreshadowing this through, and obviously for those who don't watch Dragon Ball, I know some of those things you were seeing it, but you really probably weren't necessarily putting those two and two together on
Over your
there.
head.
Um, I didn't expect the double heel turn. Now, I had already said to you, I was like, I've been saying for a while, Big E is going to be like the linchpin that either was going to save the two of them to keep them together. I didn't see them both turning on Big E.
I
And
mean,
I
I did. I said like the only way for New Day to still function as the New Day is if they both turn, whether it be for a common enemy or a common goal,
mhm.
whatever. They
Well,
both needed to turn.
common goal.
I didn't expect Big E to be the cause, but I did say, hey, like they need in order for them to stay together, they need to turn heel. And the only way to do that is if they are just going to lose and get fed up.
Hmm. Yep. And I will tell you, like the shots the two of them were taking at Big E, like were like they were digging. Like once Kofi started going in and doing the Stone Cold broke his neck and came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck and came back.
I would have said Kurt Angle broke his neck. What a freaking gold medal!
And then they just
They
used
even
that.
brought they brought Edge. They said Edge.
They did Edge. They did mention Edge broke his neck and made his ultimate return back. So hey, listen, there were no punches pulled.
Hey, yo, when you talk about Mia Yim's sister, though, oof. When they mentioned her sister,
Was the
oof.
one that caused and talking about him and his desk job. Like I was just like, hey, yo, y'all are going in, and I'm happy the audience was feeding into it. Like, listen, for a lot of people, us included, to finally see this moment actually happen, it's just like it's like damn. Like we knew as soon as they announced the 10-year celebration, we was just like, oh damn, something is gonna go absolutely wrong. Like weren't necessarily thinking it was gonna be like this type of wrong, but for them to be able to pull this off and execute it pretty well, I loved it. And I think my hope is that somehow this is just edging us to letting us know that Big E is getting hopefully close to actually being medically cleared. Um, because otherwise, let us do say that Big E doesn't get medically cleared. How do we now factor in him into this feud? Obviously, he was originally saying he was going to be the manager for Kofi and Xavier. Does he manage somebody else to kind of be his sword to be able to go in there and to teach them the lesson that they need to do? Or
No,
how do they?
I think it's gonna come to a point where it's going to be like Xavier's going for let's say he's going for a championship
Mm-hmm,
and he finally wins it and everything and then he loses it.
mm-hmm,
I feel like that is when like instead of we get the Xavier Kofi spot again, I feel like that's when they can probably bring E back and was just like, look, you gotta stay positive. Like, I know you guys said I'm no longer part of the New Day, but we're still family, you know, because it's the we before me aspect.
Hmm.
So I feel like somehow he's going to be that linchpin to be like, yo, you don't want to win it this way. Remember XYZ. Now
Hmm.
we may not see that for a long while.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
hope
long
we
way.
like and I really hope like they really flesh this out.
Yes,
And
and
I
don't
just
make this
want
too
this
short.
like I want this to stay away from like the Wyatts, you know?
And see, that was the part. I listen. I
Because
know
they didn't beat up E. The biggest thing with the Wyatts is they've only targeted other teams that
that have
person that
wronged,
have wronged a person in that group, but like
and
physically wronged that person in that group to a big degree. I don't think that Kofi and Woods are at that Wyatt six target
level
point.
yet. But I'm telling you that we're if we build this right, that is where we're going to. Like, listen, we did have a you know what, I don't want to get too off track. We had the discussion about the Wyatt Six. And when we first talked about them and what they were trying to do, we were like, they can't lose. Like they need to come in here, dominate, and just continuously do this over and over again. I actually wasn't expecting them to actually lose a match. And they actually did. Which to me, I feel like it kind of halted the momentum a little bit the way that we were hoping to see them go. I like the aspect of what they were doing in going after those that have wronged someone. I think that's awesome. But if they have one more battle with um the authors of pain and all of them,
Carrying
like I'm
Cross.
carrying cross, good God. Hey, listen, long day. Um if they lose again to them, like I feel like we kind of just put a halt to the
But
whole.
it was Nikki Cross that lost, right?
No, they lost as a team. It was at least 3-on-3. I don't know if it was just all the guys. They lost the match as a team, which I was not expecting.
Hmm.
And that had me worried a little bit because I
Well,
feel
I
like
think what they're going for, right, is Kane's Cross's thing is like, hey, I beat this person and now they completely changed. And now like they're champion or they're refocused and they're blah 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 blah. Like that's his whole thing is that he makes other the other talent revert to their darker side,
hmm
and that darker side leads them to win championships and other titles or other accolades. I think like that's his biggest thing, right? And uh I feel like he that can't be a thing with the Wyatts.
hmm
And so it's they've won more times than they have lost against the authors of pain and Carrot and Cross. So by that point, it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm twisting them to be more dark. It should be more so we are this chaotic force which will not tolerate this level of darkness per se from Karrion Cross and his whole TikTok you're out of time blah 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 blah.
hmm
So I feel like I don't count it as a loss until uh Bo
mm
loses the match because it's not really why it's six without Bo Dallas. And if Bo
Oh,
Dallas hasn't lost,
100%.
then I don't count it
100%.
as a loss.
But I'm afraid like that should be where we should be heading to incorporate the Wyatts into the New Day. But I'm a little afraid. Like to me, I feel like the Wyatts have got that whole thing has gotten a little stagnant. like I enjoyed all the vignettes and all the stuff backstage that they did, all the video recordings. Um, they took a pause from it and then started doing it again, and I still found myself intrigued in what it was they were doing.
They definitely need to flesh it out more. Like they started off really strong and being like
Mhm,
this dominant force. Okay, they're going after these people that are being abusive to their other stable mates or tag team partners, and okay, that is currently the current motif. But we need a more fleshed out. Like okay, oh, they abducted the Miz, they kidnapped the Miz. Where's the Miz? Okay, we we need more story. Like
mhm,
we know they're going to perform in the ring. I mean, it's the authors of pain, so it's not really going to be a 10-star match, but it will be entertaining enough.
mhm,
So I feel like creative needs to be a lot more creative. Now, okay, we're like what 3-4 months in
mhm.
with the Wyatt Six now. I feel like now you need to actually like movie TV show level writing for the Wyatt Six. Like you need to give that same bloodline 1.0 treatment. You need to give that to them now. You need to just take other aspects from other horror stories or whatever novels and incorporate that into their motif. And I feel like that is when they'll truly be successful. Matter of fact, I'll make it even simple. Give them the Kane and the Undertaker treatment, but without all of like, hanging someone and pulling them to a cross and all that. Like you can leave that kind of out of it, make it just
Oh, that's yeah, that's
believable unbelievability. Like we know it's not real, but make it so that we can possibly believe it's real.
mhm.
Like it's like, oh, like you rough everyone up in the backstage. Oh, damn, they killed Chad Gable. Where's Chad Gable? We didn't see Chad Gable for like 3 weeks. Is he okay? Is he dead? Like,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Like, we know he's actually alive. Like, they're not going to kill someone like on live TV. So make it believable, even though we know it's not real.
I dig it. Scripted. We know how it is, but we enjoy
Yeah.
the hell out of it. It's just like any other thing we watch. But yeah, the whole New Day thing is going to be very interesting. Like they've piqued the interest, and I'm just eager to see how we can roll with this. Right? It's just got to be executed well. I feel like they have to. Big E is going to have to at least record some things like interviews or whatever backstage to at least have ready to go in certain instances since he's not going to be wrestling. Um, and give Kofi and let them. I want to see these two sell as heels. I hope we can make it work.
I mean, we haven't seen an angry Kofi since him versus Randy Orton in like what 2013.
That's about right. So I'm hoping
That is the heelish Kofi has actually ever gotten was when he was going against Randy.
destroy my man's racing car. The dude was going to race through all the paint
Stock
on.
car. Yep.
Hey, listen,
And that was a
that
nice
was
stock car too. That was
listen,
like this Cheeto, the Slim Jim wrapped or Cheeto wrapped stock car. No, it
and
was nice.
and that predates anywhere where we were anywhere close to Kofi Mania and him winning. That was the high peak of Kofi's career at that point. And I don't know what happened. And then it just like it flatlined and it just went in I don't know what happened. And then we just went and did the whole New Day thing on there. But I'm just eager to see where it goes. I'm hoping that we can create something super awesome to come about this. I feel like for the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, this is definitely a
Hey,
good direction to
it
go
is
in.
it's good. Like it's going to sound corny. It is corny, but I could see like Big E like in a vignette. having 7 Dragon Balls, summoning Shinron, and they custom it with sparking 0, and he was like, "I wish the New Day got back together." Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, and the dragon. That is
I'm
out of
telling you, it fits. Like it's corny, but it
it fits
fits.
him. But hey,
It
but then the dragons will
fits.
be like, that is beyond my power at this point. Like that's what's going to happen.
No, he's gonna say, "I wish to have the power to bring the New Bay back to the power of positivity." And Shenron's gonna be like, "Your wish has been granted." And he's gonna be powered up, and then that's gonna be the vignette which shows him coming back to get the group back together. Where that will be his medically clear promo, because it all fits. You got Kofi wearing the Majin. We've already had them. They've worn Saiyan armor and all of this stuff. It all fits. They've already had a sparking 0 spot at the last PLE, maybe 2 PLEs ago.
Mm-hmm.
It all fits.
WWE
creative. Look, I got ideas for days. Hire your boy. Your boy.
I dig it. All right, cool. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up. I think we got our 2 topics in now. We always got to do a Patreon exclusive, so we got to end this, guys. We know you love talking about wrestling, but we got to end this, and we got to get something special to our Patreon subscribers.
And if you don't have the link, it's https://beacons.ai/loading snacks.
He gave you the
Make
secure
sure
link.
you type that in. If you're watching, it's right up above us. Just go ahead, check it out. Click that subscribe button on all the platforms. Like, comment, share, other people. Bring them on in, man. Bring them on in. We accept. We're comfortable being a geek. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. But speaking of, we're gonna wrap this things up. But make sure you guys are following alongside of us so you can see everything else we're going. The crew, unfortunately, I won't be with them this weekend, but they will be going to Ocean City Comic Con. And they will be doing 2 panels there. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the socials because you'll be seeing posts and things going up. It's gonna be a great time. I wish I was gonna be there, but unfortunately, the stars did not align this weekend. So it is what it is. We got to keep the show moving. We got to do things what it is for it. But make sure you guys are following, tuning in. For those that are watching, for those that are listening, we greatly appreciate however you consume this content. Let us know what other things that you want to see come about. Because the main thing, I haven't gotten an answer from anybody yet. When we do these prediction shows and people win and lose, we want to know what it is that you guys want to see us do. Like, we keep these records, but we haven't done anything with them just yet. And we need to figure this out because there needs to be some punishments or something needs to be involved with this. Even if it's me.
You keep saying that, but you don't bring any ideas to the table.
I've brought ideas to the table before. I've absolutely had. What have you brought to the table?
Oh, I brought plenty of ideas to the table.
Other than losing.
I won. What are you talking about?
Finally.
I'm still the undisputed champion.
No, you finally won. Because me and
Sin
definitely nope.
Yeah, my track record, I have won more than I've lost. Thank you, good sir.
I don't know about that. Okay, we're gonna have to go back to the archives for that. That's gonna be a topic on its own right there. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here so we can go do this Patreon exclusive topic. Appreciate y'all once again for tuning in. For the homie Marcus, this is your boy Jokes. This has been another episode of the Finisher Podcast. Make sure you're watching and listening wherever. Give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, whatever it may be. But until then, Marcus, can you tell the people what they need to know?
Just because your back is against the ropes doesn't mean you can't move forward.
I heard that loud and clear. And with that, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Ta-ta for now.
Loading snacks.